Hey everypony, you remember that petition back in season 4 in order to save Twilight's library after what Tyrek did to it, right? Well, guess what? It's not coming back and we're sticking with the castle, so start the video.
Season 5.
Hello everypony, I'm your cartoon and animation fanatic Redcord, and I watch them and you can too. Today's episode will involve a look back at Twilight's old home, but also the challenge of getting used to a new castle and moving on from the past. Let's see how this goes. So the episode begins with Twilight helping out Fluttershy with the animals, and Angel getting hit into the mud puddle was the funniest part in the whole episode for me. We soon find out that Twilight seems to be avoiding the idea of heading back to her new castle and insists that she goes out to help some other ponies. So at the start of a pancake breakfast from IHOP, it's revealed that Twilight has been a bit more helpful than usual, which is a red flag to the other main five and leads to Twilight explaining why she has been avoiding the castle lately. So this calls for some redecorating while Twilight and Spike head out to the spa. And speaking of Spike, I actually liked him in this episode. He genuinely feels like season 2 Spike and manages to get a few laughs out of me that wasn't slapstick, but Pinkie Pie takes the cake in funny moments. Oh, and Spike has a plushie of Rarity. That's almost as strange as Sweetie Belle having a plushie of Spike. Okay, who makes these plushies? So we get a musical montage about redecorating the castle, but sadly, this is where I had issues with the episode. While the song was decent for the overall theme, the story from this point on was kind of predictable, as with most slice of life episodes. You can tell the other ponies are going to make the castle feel like home to them, but not for Twilight, which is just hard to comprehend since they're supposed to know a lot about Twilight but seem to have thrown common sense out the window for this scene. I would also like to point out that the song was a bit better in the reprisal. So the main five have to compromise in order to make the castle right for Twilight, but end up arguing on what stays and what goes. So this calls for more stalling for Spike and Twilight, and apparently Snowflake works at the spa now. Must be a summer job. So aside from more visual gags, we get a very heartwarming scene with Twilight and Spike revisiting the Golden Oaks library and reminiscing the wonderful memories they had ever since they moved to Ponyville. And I'm actually surprised at how the others managed to incorporate what was left of the library into something truly amazing. A huge chandelier of all the past memories hanging from the roofs of Twilight's old home? Continuity! Sorry about that, Silver Quill, but all is fair in Season 5. So it's time for my final thoughts as usual. Overall, I liked the episode but wouldn't call it one of the greater episodes since it's still early on in the season. But I will say that it was a pleasant break from the season opener. I was actually skeptical of Joanna Lewis and Christine Sonko writing an episode for My Little Pony since their resume mainly consists of Fairly OddParents, Tough Puppy, The Mighty Bee, and Fanboy and Chum Chum. But again, to my surprise, they wrote the characters pretty accurate. The main five had some disagreements here and there, but managed to see the error of their ways and focus on the matter at hand. The lesson that home is where the heart is was a pleasant way in dealing with the loss of one's origins and focus on how far you've come since then. I also love how both Spike and Pinkie Pie were portrayed in the episode. Pinkie Pie was funny and knew when she's gone too far and corrects her mistake when she's talking about Twilight's tree being destroyed. A small nitpick here is the constant reminder of Spike's crush on Rarity. It's kinda getting old, so can we please move on from that? I'm also hoping that we get to venture out of Ponyville more instead of just looking at the past in the season. So that's all for now. Let me know what you thought about the episode in the comments below, and for many of you wondering where my Cutie Map review is, I'm still working on it with a few others and it's taking longer than I thought because of college, so be on the lookout for that episode. In the meantime, I'm still going to review the other episodes. Oh, and as for the next episode without spoiling anything, I so can't wait to see how that episode plays out because it can go either way in quality. Thanks for watching, I watched it and you can too.